Good evening, everyone. And welcome back to SDN Tier 1. We return for round 5 of the season. And we arrive in Italy, not for Monza, but for Imola. A track with great history, and also a track that won't be on the F1 2026 calendar, so it might be the last time we race around here. You never know, but that is why we arrive for tonight's race. The 5th round in the championship. And last week we had the Belgian Grand Prix, after which Kevin's dominant display for not the first time this season, he now leads the championship by a mere 29 points ahead of Fireblaze. Both Lucas and Kick improved their championship positions to P3 and P4 respectively, but Lucas has got half the points that Kevin has, 43, and Kick 6 further points behind. And in the Constructors' Championship, no surprise to see McLaren on top with Kevin's season so far. But Ferrari is not too far behind. 17 points is the deficit towards McLaren. And Williams 26 points behind. And then it's a massive gap towards VCARB on 35. But welcome back to SDN. Not your usual host for the commentary, because Jamie, who usually is alongside me, is not present tonight. He is in Amsterdam having a good time, I hope, and he will return for the next race in round 6, but tonight you're gonna have to do it with just me, but hopefully that won't be an issue. So we get start of qualifying, full qualifying as per usual, so Q1, Q2 and Q3, though at the moment we only got 15 drivers in this session, so nobody is gonna get knocked out, but there should be 2 drivers joining in this Q1 session, so we should be seeing 2 drivers getting knocked out eventually. But at the moment only 15 drivers out there, so Q1 will not be that exciting as usually, but Kevin is out there on track, one of the only drivers out there. Leonard in the RB as well, Kevin though he's on the hard, so definitely not going to be a representative lap time for him. Leonard on the softs. We're going to find out what he is going to be able to do. Imola, quite a difficult track on this game. It always has been, with track limits especially. They're a bit bugged, I believe. If you just cross the white line a little bit too much, then you immediately get your lap time deleted. And this chicane, especially tricky with track limits. So we're going to find out how these drivers are going to tackle this track here near Imola. And Leonard, he will be the first one to start his flying lap. So let's take a ride on board with the RB driver coming out of the final corner. The Ravazza corners. 2 left-handers, then down the start finish straight for what I say flat out kink. And towards the Tamburello chicane. Hitting the curves nice on the inside and the outside. The apex is nicely there now. For the next chicane, very tricky, where we saw Yuki Tsunoda had a big accident earlier on this season. He runs slightly too wide on the exit, and that is how easy it is to invalidate your lap time, and he backs off immediately. Thank you very much, Kevin. I'm not sure how long I have been muted for. But thank you for pointing it out. So sorry for that, but Fireblaze crosses the line to go to P3 with a 15-0. Gets almost within a tenth of a second to his teammate, Ivan. But still nobody can beat Kevin on his hearts, which is quite extraordinary. Since the beginning of the lap, so probably a few minutes, so apologies for that, but I'm back now as Colin once again invalidates on his lap. Pusher with TT coming out of the final corner. He has set a 16.7. Mels, who still out there with his broken front wing going for a lap. Might as well, it's Q1 anyway. And at the moment still nobody's going to get knocked out because we've still got 15 drivers in. As the other RB of Leonard is going out once more. With the aim to keep it within track limits. Doesn't have to be the quickest lap out there. Just keeps it within the white line, then he will be safe. And same for Lucas in the Williams. Both Williams out there on an out lap. Haven't set a lap time yet, but they probably know it. They only need to set one lap time, and that will be enough for them to get him through into the next part of qualifying. Lucas starts his flying lap. Leonard has made it out of the second chicane without invalidating. The Variante Villeneuve. Now in towards turn 9 Piratella, and down towards Aqua Minerale we will go. A double right-hander with a slight kink on the exit as well to the left, but he keeps it within the white line. Now into the chicane. Variante Alta, 49.6 in the middle sector. Once again, keeps it within the white lines, which is all he needs to do on this lap. And I think that should be good enough to set him a represented lap time on the board. As he goes into the final corner. And well done to Leonard, keeping it within the white lines. He crosses the line for what will be a 140.9. Actually, quite a good lap time there for the RB driver. Puts him in P3 in between the two Ferraris. And for sure that's going to be enough for him to make it to Q2. As Lucas goes quickest, 1:14.6. Just about beats Kevin, who set his fastest lap on the hards. But we've got a new quickest time. And it's the Williams of Lucas. What about Kick? Making his way halfway down the lap. And he is going quick through sector 2, 49.4. I think that's a tenth or two quicker than we've seen from Leonard. So if he maintains that throughout the final sector, he will be close to his teammates' time. Looks to be a solid final sector as well for Kick, who is gonna cross the line. Will it be quicker? Yes, it will. 1:14.399. And that puts him 2.5 tenths clear of his teammate Lucas in P2. So the two Williams drivers out there on top. But we know that Kevin is going to be able to go quicker. He's going out now as well on a brand new set of softs. Even though he doesn't need to. Because he will be safe for Q1. Ryan on another lap, down in P8 right now. His teammate Geitenkaas, who got onto the podium last week, but he also struggled during qualifying. Hasn't set a lap time either. And same for Mummy Nick. Haven't seen him out on track yet. Whoa, way out wide there from Ryan, and he hits the inside wall on the exit. Big mistake there from the Red Bull driver coming out of Piratella. And has he suffered front wing damage? I don't think he has. But that is his lap time ruined. Just overshot turn 9 completely there. Must have hit the inside curb, which can easily send you off track. And he's going to have to go back into the pit lane and put on a brand new set of softs. As Colin once again invalidates in the Haas's best lap time is still a 1:30.4. 15 seconds off the pace. Mel's gaming out there on track, gonna start his flying lap. We know he's got a 5-place grid penalty that he's gonna have to serve at the end of qualifying. But that means he's gonna have to go qualify as high as possible, because those 5 places will be added after Q3 if he makes it to Q3. But at the moment we've still got only 15 drivers in, so nobody has to worry about going out in Q1 unless someone joins in these final 5 minutes. Good first sector there for Mels, improves by 0.2 of a second. Wants to get inside the top 10. As Kevin does go faster, 13.7, improves by almost a full second on his previous time. And boy, is he ahead of everyone else by over 0.6 of a second. Simply in another league, like he has been for the majority of this season. Well, basically every race he participated in, I think he's won. Yes, he has. He didn't arrive in Melbourne, but then he won in Qatar, in both the sprint and the main race in Jeddah, and last week at Spa. And he is looking for his 4th consecutive win, I think. Mels improved his time, finds himself now in P9. As Bushy TT behind in the Aston Martin, starting his flying lap. As Mominik is out on track for the first time, as Toctavius joined. So that is our 16th driver, which means that one driver will get knocked out in Q1. The other Aston Martin, Bushy TT, is unable to improve through Sector 1. I'm on a Canal cruise. Well, hope you're having fun in Amsterdam. Nothing better to listen to you. Thank you very much, Jamie. Of course, I wish you were alongside me again, but also wish you a lot of fun in Amsterdam, and I know you will be back next week, of course, as Kevin retires from the session. Hell, he's going to be safer than anyone else out there. He's looking to dominate yet another weekend here in SDN as Boschebus TT comes out of the final corner. I'll be alongside you in real life, that is true, in about a month's time. A little bit less than I think, as Bush TT improves. He doesn't improve actually, he is slower by 0.04 of a second. Stays in P10. What about Mominek? He is left it very late in qualifying. And he's basically only got one run. So if he invalidates here, then he might be screwed in qualifying. And the same for Geitekaas. So the pressure is on. Especially on a man who has been struggling so far this season with qualifying sometimes. If he gets knocked out here in Imola in Q1 as the only driver, that will be very, very painful indeed. He's a giant in comparison to me. Yeah, that's welcome to the Netherlands. The tallest country in the world. And especially for something for someone like you. No offense, of course. Now, so Mominecki is down by a few tenths of a second to the top guys. But if he finishes this lap, I'm sure it will be enough for him to make it out of Q1. His teammate Thijs is not here tonight. My neck was hurting looking up to him. Can't imagine that as Mominik goes P11. Good lap time, but the 5 drivers behind him are gonna be on the lap. Geitenkaas. Oh, Geitenkaas spins at the same place where Yuki Tsunoda had his accident. And could this be the end of qualifying for Geitenkaas down in P16? He's got 47 seconds remaining. And I don't think he's got the time to go for another lap. It might be very close. Not sure if he has the fuel either, but huge mistake there from Geitenkaas, who finished on the podium last week. But he might be out there in Q1. Big spin going into the Villeneuve chicane. 25 seconds to go. I don't think he's going to be able to make that. Octavia right behind. Geitenkaas needs to hope for Milker. Well, can't really hope for anything because he's down in P16 anyway. Only if someone gets disqualified he will be making it through, but I don't think that's going to happen. As Octavia is about to cross the line for his only lap time, goes to P7. Well done, and the flag has fallen. Geitenkaas is in P16. Geitenkaas is out of qualifying here in Imola. Huge shock, but he somehow... Oh no, he doesn't. He beats Colin's time by 3 seconds. Colin's time was only 1:30.4, who invalidated all his runs besides that. And Geitenkaas 1:27.0 is enough for him to make it through into Q2. What absolute scenes here in qualifying. Incredible stuff, but it does mean that Ricciardo and Tificino don't need to improve. The Mercedes driver has backed off. The Alpine is still pushing on. Let's see what it's going to be able to do. Ricciardo sits down in P14. Can he improve his position? Yes, he can. Goes up to P11. A good improvement there, and that's the end then of Q1. And it's not Geitenkaas getting knocked out, but instead it's going to be Colin in the Haas. That was very, very close there for Geitenkaas. I'm sure he would have thought that he was going to be out when he spun out in the second chicane, but he finished his lap. It was still valid despite him being off in the gravel trap, and that is what saved him from Q1 elimination. Wow. So, Kevin is quickest. No real surprise there, by almost 0.5 of a second towards Lucas, who did find it improved in the end. And the other Williams kick in P3 ahead of Fireblaze by 0.5 of a second. The gaps are large at the front. And yeah, Mels with his 5-place grid penalty, but he does make it through into the next part of qualifying. So Kevin on top by half a second. The 2 Williams, then the 2 Ferraris of Fireblaze and Ivan. Then Leonard in P6, 1.2 seconds wide. Look at the gaps outside the top 3. Octavia with his only lap in P7, very, very well done from him as well. Happy Meal in P8. Ryan and Mels, Ricciardo with his team, Mominik, TVHNL and Geitenkaas all make it through. And only one man gets knocked out, and his name is Colin. We now move on to the second part of qualifying, which is 15 minutes, if I'm not mistaken. And now 5 drivers will get eliminated, as F1 is going out quite quickly here. Surprised to see them all going out so early. Unless it's gonna rain. It's gonna rain. It is gonna rain. I thought, why are we going out so early in Q2? But it is gonna rain at the end of Q2. So everyone is rushing to go out in qualifying. Thank you very much, by the way, for notifying me of that, of the weather. But everyone is going out as quickly as possible to get a lap time in, and maybe even go for a second run halfway down the session. But the pressure is on. You cannot afford a mistake right now, because this lap time might be your last in Q2. At the moment, the sun is still shining here at Imola, so no rain in sight just yet. But it is coming soon. Fireblaze is the last one out on track. But like I said, I don't think it's gonna rain on their first laps yet. Probably will take a few minutes before the wet weather starts to fall. But everyone is gonna start their flying lap. Leonard is the first to do so. As they're bunching up there going into the final two corners. Let's hope nobody gets in a penalty for impeding. So look at the commitment there through turns 1, 2 and 3 by Leonard. Really pushing the limits off the track. 23.7 through sector 1. He's looking quick so far. He has looked quick through Q1. And he was looking quick last week as well. At Spa, he almost took the lead of the race on the opening lap. After a moment between Kik and Kevin in turn 1. But he fell behind a little bit through the remainder of that race. And in the end he did finish in P6. Yeah, he finished P6. But I don't think he is a tier 2 driver, I think. So still a great result regardless. As he now makes his way towards Rivazza. The final two corners of the lap, bit of a lock up on the inside. A bit hesitant on the turn in. But he's kept it within the white lines, which is the most important thing right now on this first run. He crossed the line for what will be a 1:14.557, great lap. Mominik only can manage a 1:15.0 to go in P2, but Mel's Gaming goes quicker. 14.6, Lucas goes fastest with a 1:14.344. Octavia only P5. And now Kik, he goes faster with a 14.1. We were looking out for Kevin as well. Ivan goes only P5 for a 14.7. Hapmule in P5 as Kevin only P3 with a 14.4, but it might be a used set of tires that he already used in Q1. Ryan in P9, Geitekas goes up to P8. So, someone's gone off. That is Octavia, but I think it's on his in lap. Yes, it is. And Ricky has made a mistake on this lap. He's set a 1:20.0. But he is going in. Fireblaze goes up to P3. So Williams 1-2 in Q2. Fireblaze P3, Kevin in P4. And at the moment, the 5 drivers going out are Ryan, Octavia, Bush TT, TVHNL and Rika Ju. But the last one is still attempting to improve. And he does so by 3.7 seconds through the middle sector. He needs to find at least 5 seconds to be able to beat Mominik, who is the first one to go back into the pit lane. Potentially looking to get another run in before the rain falls, though the track temperature will be dropping. Oh, something's gone on here in the final two corners. All sorts of drivers going off in the background, but what about the Alpine? Improves his time, but only goes up to P14, which still is not enough to make him through into the final part of qualifying. So Mominik at the moment sits in P10. And looking to make it into Q3. For what I think will be the first time this season. Last week he missed out to his teammate by only a few thousandths of a second, I think. Started in P11 and finished there as well. In Saudi Arabia he started in P14. It is getting dark out there indeed, so the clouds were not really present at the beginning of this session, but they are right now. And Bush TT is gone out immediately for another run. There's 9 minutes to go. Well, I say immediately, I think he stayed out on track. But he is not improving through the first sector. Mel's Gaming has retired from the session. But there are drivers going out for their second run. Including Mominik, Octavia and Kevin. Kevin, who I think used a scrub set on his first attempt. Still no signs of improvement for Bush TT. So I think he might have made a mistake of staying out there for another lap. He should have gone in and then go out immediately to go for the second run. But now he's not improving. And look, yeah, it is raining already. There's cars out on track, but the rain is starting to fall around the Imola circuit, so there's no point in going out unless there is rain affected in the race. But these drivers will not improve their time. So I think this might already be the end result of Q2, which means that Ryan, Octavia, Bush TT, Ricky Ju and TVHNL will get knocked out in Q2, and Mominick will make it through into the final part of qualifying. All the drivers out on track though, but they quickly will realize that the track conditions have worsened significantly. Mominick still starting his flying lap, but he won't find an improvement. .6 seconds down in sector 1. That's already how much he's losing on the exit. He goes off into the grass and invalidates. Octavia also realizes that it's not going to be enough for him to improve. So Ryan spins coming out of Tamburello. That is the second Red Bull off into a gravel trap in this qualifying session. His teammate does make it through though into Q3 by only 0.3 of a second. And Mominick separating the two Red Bulls. TVHNL and Geitenkaas Bovendaarn from the session, they know that the track conditions will not improve and that there is no point in going out. As Kick is off into the grass, the exit of Aqua Minerali. Our current provisional pole sitter. Though we've seen a 30.7 already from Kevin earlier in Q1. So Kick at least has to find 0.4 of a second. Though, I don't know. It might still rain in Q3 as well, as DRS has been disabled. While Kick is still staying out to go for a flying lap, why not? Here with 5.5 minutes to go, let's take a look on board with the Williams. Making his way down the start-finish straight, no DRS of course. And down into the first chicane. Quickly finding out that there is a lack of grip, but keeping his Williams on track for now. And now into the second chicane. As he cuts the inside curve there, but he doesn't invalidate, surprisingly enough. Big tank stopper on the exit as well, now into Tosa, the hairpin on the exit, and round he goes. Into the grass. Drifting his way out of turn 9, turn 8. Big drift into turn 9, but it goes completely off the screen there, off into the gravel trap. Goes to Williams. Where, look at the drift. Almost was a perfect drift, but he hit the inside a little bit too early, then on the exit as well. Giving us a nice show for the remainder of this qualifying session. Now into the chicane. Putting the power down on the exit. Going from left to right on track. As he comes down the hill. towards the braking zone of Ravazza. Nice drift there as well. Now into the final corner. Can he keep it? Oh, yes he can. Look at that. It's beautiful. His lap time not so much though. I want 47.8. Happy Meal out there on the intermediates. So that might suggest that we're going to see more rain. Potentially in Q3. Or the race, who knows. But might get some practice in, because why not? If you have the time, 3 minutes to go. If it does rain in Q3, then you at least have some experience in the conditions. Mobinik out there as well on the intermediates. And so is Ivan. Kevin. And kick there on his soft still. Searching for any grip out there. It's 2 minutes to go. These positions are not going to change. And Ryan, Octavia Wispacity, Rick Ju and TV Chanel, they know that they're going to be out of qualifying. But there's a few that are still out on track. Adapting to the conditions. So Kick still continuing on his softs. A slightly better lap time, 1:41.4. So Kevin invalidates on the intermediates. 25.7 for Happy Meal. So Ivan also unable to keep his Ferrari within track limits. Of course, the F1 circus this weekend arrives in Italy as well, but rather in Monza, where we saw a Ferrari topping the session in FP1 with a 1-2. Of course, they always got something special in front of the Tifosi. One minute remaining in Q2. And then it will conclude the second part of qualifying. Some of these drivers putting in some wet practice. Even Ricaju is already knocked out. Down in P14. As the gaps are a lot closer. In Q2, the entire top 10 within 1 second. As Kick crosses the line for one final lap. And the flag has fallen. Kevin will be the first one to take it. In P4 right now in Q2. But we know he will be much higher than P4 in Q3. If he doesn't make a mistake or invalidate. So Ivan crosses the line as well. And so will Ricaju in a moment time. Mominik, Happy Meal and Kick. Who spins out of turn 8 once again and just about keeps it out of the barrier. Welcome to the stream. So we continue to look at the Williams tackling the Imola circuit in the wet on the slicks. For some good entertainment, he goes for another drift in towards Aqua Minerale. Overshoots it slightly though into the gravel he goes. As we wait until he crosses the line. The lobby is needful. As there he goes. Into the chicane. Yeah, there's only 16 drivers right now in qualifying. 1 got knocked out in Q1, that was Colin. There's only 16 participating so far. So there goes Kick taking an interesting route through Ravazza. Ja, we moeten nou even Nick vragen of je kan joinen. Fun it was indeed. Riding on board with the Williams, but he pulls into the pit lane for a good measure. So we have to wait another 30 seconds before the Williams crew pulls him into the garage. And then we can start with Q3. The top 10 shootout. To see who is going to go for pole position. Will it be Kevin? Or will someone else be able to surprise and beat the dominant force that is the McLaren driver? That's the end then of Q2. And in the drop zone, if we get to see it. If we don't, then I'll pull it up. It's Ryan in the Red Bull, the 2 Aston Martins of Octavia and Bush TT, Ray Kaiju and TVHNL, all 5 of them knocked out. Yeah, thank you for clarifying that, Happy Meal. But well, you made it through into Q3, but it is very close, especially from Leonard down from P5 to Ivan in P8, only less than 0.2 of a second. But we're in Q3 and it looks like it's still raining, or at least the track is wet. I will get pole. Well, we'll see in 12 minutes time. Would be a great surprise if you do, but I'm all here for it. I think it's raining, and the track looks dry, looks wet, and yeah, it is still intermediates. No, it doesn't really look like it's raining actually, so who knows if it's gonna dry up in the next few minutes. We might see a possible transition to slicks maybe towards the end. This could get interesting. As the first one out on track is Ivan in the Ferrari. Followed closely by Mels, who's got that 5-place grid penalty. It will dry up through the session, so yeah, that confirms that. Yeah, so it's gonna get interesting towards the end, because these first runs will be on intermediates on a drying track. But then the final run in Q3, it's gonna be a one-shot qualifying basically for everyone. One shot on the slicks. So it's gonna be an epic shootout. Looks like Fireblaze and Gaitakas are waiting until it dries up. Everyone else, or half the field, is going out though on the intermediates. And Ivan is going to be the first one to attempt a lap time. Let's see what sorts of lap times we're going to be dealing with at the beginning of this session. DRS has been enabled. Usually that's a sign that the slicks are going to be quicker than the intermediates. So some of these drivers might be able to get in 2 runs on the slicks if they go out right now. Though of course the track conditions will be at their peak only at the end of the session. It is going to take some time for it to fully dry up and to get the temperature up as well. But the DRS has already been enabled after 3 minutes. As Ivan makes his way through the Variante Alta chicane. Very nicely indeed, keeps it within the white lines. Coming out of the final corner comes the Ferrari. And he is going to pull straight into the pit lane, knowing that the slicks are faster. Mel Gaming right behind is going to do the exact same thing. And so is everyone else who was going out on the intermediates, replacing them for a set of slicks. Kevin and Happy Meal out on track. Fireblaze and Geitenkaas, who waited for a few minutes, are the first ones out on track. So Leonard is going to continue on, despite being on the intermediates. Everyone else is going on the slicks. Fireblaze is going to be the first one to start his final lap on the soft compound tire. I reckon we will be a few seconds potentially off what we've seen through Q1 and Q2 so far, as the grip is not fully there here in Q3. But it's all about keeping your car on track. Geitenkaas behind him starts his flying lap. Keep an eye out on the Red Bull. And Kevin and Happy Meal, who in a moment time are going to go for their first run. Halfway through the session, still no lap times on the board, but Fireblaze is about to change that. 51.0, so that's around 2 seconds slower than we've seen so far in Q1 and Q2. As he comes out of the final corner, is it going to be a 1:15, maybe even 1:16? A 1:16.4, 7.2 is the first lap time on the board. What about Geitenkaas behind? Can he match Fireblaze time? Can he go quicker than the Ferrari? No, he cannot. He misses out by 200ths of a second. It's very close between himself and Fireblaze. The Ferrari driver just a little bit quicker right now. What about Kevin and Happy Meal? Happy Meal comes out of the final corner. Can he go quicker as the track continues to dry up? Yes, he can. 15.8. 6/10 faster. And then it's Kevin in the McLaren. But he is slowing down. He has backed off. And looks like he's going to start his final lap right now. So we'll have to wait. 29.1, of course. Not a representative lap time right now, but right on board with the McLaren as he goes to turn 1 and 2. Can really cut the inside there across the curbs without invalidating now through the field-out chicane. Ooh, a bit of the gravel on the inside of turn 6, but he's up by 9 seconds through sector 1. It's going to be a bit difficult to keep track of the time. But it looks like he is going purple through sector 1. Now through turns 8 and 9. And down into the braking zone of turns 11, 12 and 13 as Kick. He goes fastest, 1:14.7, a full second quicker than Happy Meal. And we're getting closer to the times we've seen so far through Q1 and Q2, but Kevin is going even quicker through the second sector as well. As Lucas, a 113.8. And the only driver to go to 113 besides Kevin in Q1. But that is more like it from the Williams driver. What about Kevin though? As he comes out of the final corner, he's going to cross the line for what will be a 113.509. And he is almost 4 tenths ahead of the Williams. Mels has gone up to P4 with a 14.7. Dominic down in P8 with a 133. But with just under 4 minutes to go, he's still got time to go back into the pit lane and put on a brand new set of softs for his final run. Three and a half minutes to go in qualifying, and once again it's Kevin on top. But is there anything Lucas can do on his final lap? He's gonna have to find 4 tenths of a second, but the track will get faster and faster as it dries up. Two and a half minutes to go. Happy Meal is already out of track. And so is Ivan, who has not set a lap time yet. Neither has Lennart in the RB. So Ivan is going out early. In case he messes up his first lap time, he's got time to go for another one. His power team has joined. He's going to have to start from P17 though. But he is participating, so that's 17 drivers in this race. Happy Meal is going to start his flying lap just about when everyone is coming out of the pit lane. Hopefully it's not going to get held up by traffic. One of the Red Bulls on the right hand side, that's Geite Gas. As he makes his way down into the braking zone through turns 1, 2 and 3. Technically it's 2, 3 and 4. As the kink down the start finish straight is counted as a corner now through turns 5 and 6. Look at the commitment there. And he finds 6 tenths of a second already through sector 1. Track evolution playing a part here in the dying minutes of qualifying. Now through turn 9. Whoa, very close to going out wide there. And potentially invalidating now through turns 11, 12 and 13. 1.3, 1.4 seconds up for Happy Meal, which will put him in P3 right now. As he comes out of the final corner, hits the inside curve a little bit too much there, a bit of a slide. Coming out of turn 15, he's going to cross the line for what will be a 114.162, puts him right there in between the two Williams drivers. What about Ivan behind? Ivan has invalidated. He's got 38 seconds to get to the flag and start his final flying lap. I think he has enough time, but it might be very close indeed then, as Lucas starts his flying lap. Kevin will too in a few moments time. But we're focusing on the Williams first, who invalidates through turn 2. And Lucas will not improve on his time. What about Kevin then? He does the exact same thing through turn 2 as well. Both Kevin and Lucas invalidating their final runs. So it's up to Kick to find 1.2 seconds. As Ivan does get to the flag in time to start his final flying lap. Fireblaze, he has invalidated too. He's down in P6. Which is the last thing he needed in his championship fight. Happy Meal, of course, has already finished his lap time. Kick has found 3 tenths of a second through sector 1. but that is not going to be enough right now to beat the likes of his teammate, and especially Kevin. Let's see what Lucas was going to be able to do as he finishes lap a 13.5. He would have missed out by a few thousandths of a second, but it would have been very close. Kick finds now 7.5 tenths through the second sectors. Mel's Gaming goes P3, but of course he's got that grid penalty ahead of him as Mominik is going to cross the line for what will be P5. Wow, what a qualifying. And what about Kick? Can he beat Kevin? No, he can't. He misses out, but he is on the front row. 2 tenths separating himself from Kevin, and that is the end then of qualifying. So Kevin didn't need a final run to improve. He is going to be on pole position regardless with a time of 1:13.509. Kick lines up in P2 just like he did last week in the Williams. At Spa, Lucas once again in P3. Let's hope they have better luck at the beginning of this race. Mel's Gaming in P4, but will start in P9 due to a grid penalty. Happy Meal in P5. Ivan in P6. Leonard in P7. Mominik in P8. Great qualifying from him. And Fireblaze and Gertekas couldn't improve or invalidate on their final runs. And start down in P9 and P10. The maximum you could do, well, it's earned you a P4 position on the grid. So not too far off the podium. Let's see as the sun is out for the race. No rain in sight. Not too sure about tire wear around Imola. I think it's just a basic one-stop medium to hard. Although I did do a race a while ago. Not too sure. We will see Power Seam in the McLaren. Let's see what he's going to be able to do from the back of the grid around a track that is quite difficult to overtake on. As we go ready already for the Imola Grand Prix. Kevin on pole position with Kick alongside and the lights are out and we're on the way at Imola, and Kevin gets a good launch off the line and so does Lucas, and Kick immediately loses out to his teammate. So Lucas up to P2, Kick down to P3. Some of the Ferraris going off into the gravel there as Happy Meal sends one of the inside of Kick, unable to make it work. And now around the outside tries to go for the switchback, still wheel to wheel on the exit of turn 4. Someone is going into the background, that is Tok Taven, the Aston Martin, going into the wall on the exit of turn 4. As Ivan in P5 in the Ferrari, then it's 2 RBs in P6 and 7. Now Gertekas sends one up the inside of Leonard, but he doesn't quite have the traction to complete that move. Fireblaze has stayed in P9. Pushibus TT finds himself inside the top 10 ahead of Ryan and Power Seam. Already 5 positions gained from the start up to P12. What has happened to Mominik though? He started in P8 and now finds himself all the way down in P16, only ahead of Tok Taven, who went off at the exit of turn 5 and now has got front wing damage as well, missing the entirety of the left hand side of his Aston Martin front wing as Power Seam is on the charge, gets past Ryan but runs a little bit too deep into the chicane, which allows Ryan to get back in front of the McLaren driver and stay in P11 where he started. An ideal start though from Kevin, who has got 9 tenths of a second already towards Lucas in P2. The two Williams drivers swap positions as in the background Gertekas now finally does get past Leonard. And now he's up into P7 and can try and chase after the other VE car of Mels in P6. Fireblaze also close to the back of the same Leonard. And Bush TT in the Aston Martin rounds out the top 10. His teammate pulls into the pit lane for a new front wing. Everyone has started on the mediums. And that is Mominik up the inside of Rick Azou getting past, and he is now up into P15 on his way back up the field. As Kevin does what he does best, and he has built a gap already of 1.5 seconds towards Lucas in the Williams. make that 1.8 on the exit of the Variante Alta. Kick is close behind and would want to get by potentially. DRS enabled for Kick, and he is getting closer to his teammate. Lucas is going to pull to the right hand side of the track, and Kick is going to get past easily there, and now he's back up into P2 where he started his race. Another position gained for Mominick. He's got past Colin, and so has Reka Juni Alpine. Mominick looking at the back of TVHNL. But has to stay behind for now at least. As yellow flags are ahead, something has happened in the background. Not sure who it was for, but Happy Meal has lost a lot of time. He's down in P10. Did he spin out or run wide through turn 9 potentially? Because he's lost a lot of positions. He was in P4 I think before on this lap. Now down in P10 and just ahead of Power Seam. Lucas slingshotting his way past his teammate, but they're not really gaining time on Kevin. Gap's 2.3, but what they are doing is creating a gap towards Ivan, of course, as Happy Meal fell out of that gap. It's now 1.1 between the Ferrari and the Williams. We've got Power Seam and Happy Meal are fighting in the background as Ryan goes off the exit of turn 4 in the Red Bull. Almost another spin there, and down to P16 he goes. So the rear tire is quite hot still, so he struggles to keep it on track as Lucas picks up a 3-second time penalty already on lap 4. And that is going to compromise his chances of getting a good result, and so does Ivan in the Ferrari. In P4. Of course, track limits are very difficult around this track. And it shows. 2 of the top runners already with a 3-second time penalty, even before the beginning of lap 5. Fireblaze is going to get past Leonard as the other RB is going to get past the other Ferrari. Mel's now up at the P4. Ahead of Ivan, and someone is going straight on, which is Leonard. Was just overtaken there by Fireblaze and now drops down to P10. Behind both Pussy Bush TT and Power Seam as well. Power Seam picks up a 3-second time penalty by the way, but he started out in P17. And after just 4 laps of racing finds himself in P9. Great comeback drive so far as looks like Ryan has gone off once again. At the same place where Yuki Tsunoda crashed earlier on this season. And now he's picked up front wing damage as well. Terrible time it has been so far from Ryan. Missed out on Q3 by a few hundredths. And now finds the barrier in the opening few laps of this race. And almost 3 seconds is the gap between Kevin and Lucas. Kick is still following closely. Mels is trying to get within DRS range, but he hasn't quite managed to do that. And now Ivan is going to have a go potentially at the RB to try and get back past ahead of him. Gets close, but not quite close enough to go for the move. Geitekaas in P6, Fireblaze in P7, and in the background going off into the wall goes Bushy Bush TT in the Aston Martin. Did he hit the inside curb on the exit of turn 3? And lost control and went straight on into 4. And that's the second Aston Martin with front wing damage. After Octavia had a moment on the opening lap. Bushy Bush TT Now drops down to P14 and he's going to have to come to the pit lane as well. In the background, that is Colin spinning out of turn 8. What is going on? In the opening stages of this race, the Haas driver goes around, has to reverse back onto the track to continue his race. Don't think he's picked up front wing damage, but he has lost a lot of time with that. Bushy Bush TT's day is going to get even worse as he picks up a 3-second time penalty. Not today for Aston Martin, that is for sure. Certainly is today for Kevin Zonneberg because he has got a 3.4 second lead over Lucas and Kik, who are close to each other. Ivan now gets back ahead of Mels getting into the braking zone of turn 2. As Bushy Bush TT unfortunately retires from this race on lap 6 to 7. And he becomes our first DNF of the day. Whoa, on the exit, Mels Gaming trying to get past Ivan, but unable to do so as the Ferrari has the better traction out of turn 8. And is able to stay in P4, but the gap towards the Williams drivers is increasing to almost 2 seconds now. Happy Meal still holding on to this train after his earlier spin a few laps ago. Ivan now under pressure once again from Mels, who is going to go alongside, and here comes Geitegas with the overspeed, goes through the middle there of Ivan and Mels Gaming. What a move from Geitegas, 2 for 1, and the Red Bull drivers up into P4. That was lovely stuff there as he got past the RB and the Ferrari. There was a gap in between the two of them and he just went for it, and it has paid off. Finds himself in a P4 position, 2.5 seconds behind the two Williams drivers, but in clean air. Mels stays in P5. Ivan is the biggest loser out of that. He loses 2 positions. Down to P6, just ahead of his teammate Fireblaze. And Power Seam in P8. Yellow flags are out once again for Colin in the exact same spot as 2 laps ago. He spun on the exit of turn 8. This time he does hit the wall though. And he's now got front wing damage to deal with. Haas driver really struggling here at Imola as Ivan pulls into the pit lane at the end of lap 7 on to 8, or on 8 onto 9. To put on a brand new set of hards, which indicates that he might be going for a 2-stop. Because 8 laps on mediums means he will have to do 24 laps on the hards, which is a very long way to go. I think he's not going to be able to make that. So probably a 2-stop for Ivan. Williams is certainly doing well in this race in a P2-3 position, like they have been since the beginning of the race. But unfortunately unable to catch Kevin, who was once again in a league of his own. The gap's almost 5 seconds. So we go on to lap 10. Happy Meal picks up a 3-second time penalty as Colin pulls into the pit lane. Lucas got a 3-second time penalty earlier for track limits. So Colin with a new front wing, a new set of tires, but I think he will be lapped unfortunately by Kevin. As looks like Octavius had another off through turn 5 and 6. As Geitekas now pulls into the pit lane, going on to lap 10. 1 lap after Ivan pulled into pit lane, Muminick as well in the Sauber. But where is the Red Bull going to come out compared to the Ferrari, who is going to make his way into the final 2 corners? It's a long pit lane here at Imola, and you lose a lot of time. So will Ivan stay in front of Geitegas with the undercut? I think he should be. The undercut is usually quite powerful on this game. Well, it's very close to the exit. Side by side for a moment, but Ivan is ahead of Geitegas by 7/8 of a second. Going on to lap 11, Kevin leads by 5.5 seconds towards Lucas. Kick still following closely behind by 7/10 of a second within DRS range. And it's already 3 seconds now towards Mel. So Power Seam pulls into the pit lane. I think Fireless is about to have a go on the RB. Yes, he is. Goes round the outside. And the Ferrari drivers hop into P4. As Power Seam puts on a brand new set of hards as well. He will be behind Ivan and Geitegas. It should be in clean air between those two and Mominik. Four seconds behind Ivan, who has been overtaken by Geitegas on the previous lap. So the Red Bull driver now in a virtual P4 position. But we don't know how big the undercut will be compared to the Williams drivers. As Kevin continues on for another lap. What about the Williams drivers? Lucas and Kick. Lucas is going to pull to the pit lane. Kick is going to have to continue on. Fireblaze stays out as well, melts into the pit lane. And where is Lucas gonna come out compared to Geitegas and Ivan? The Red Bull driver comes out of the final corner. He was 3-4 seconds behind the Williams. And he is way ahead of Lucas. Look at the gap. It's 2 seconds behind Ivan and Geitegas. That is how big the undercut is. And so Kick will be behind the two of them as well. And actually close to Power Seam, who is within the DRS range of Lucas. So Williams is going to have some overtaking to do. In their second stint. Nels, by the way, put on the bench of mediums rather than the hards. The only one to do so. As our race leader Kevin pulls into the pit lane, going on to lap 13. And so does Kick, who picks up a 10-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. That was the absolute last thing the Williams driver needed when he is fighting for a podium. Even if he does make it to the end on these tires, he is going to have to build a 10-second gap to the car behind. As Kevin comes out in clean air ahead of Geitegas. No surprise, but look at the gap. It's almost under a second between Kevin and Geitegas. It's now under a second because the McLaren driver's tires haven't worn up completely like the Red Bull. As in the background, they go wheel to wheel. That is Rickard getting out of the way of Ivan, who's now up to P4. But out of the arrest range of Geitegas. It's another 3-second time penalty for Lucas. So both Williams drivers with penalties. As that is Power Seam blasting past the Mercedes. Finds himself in P6 and it will be P5 once he clears the Alpine as well. But he gets in stuck in behind Ricciardo on his old mediums. Desperately wants to find a way past. He's going to have to go the long way around the outside into the chicane later on the brakes. Will he be able to do that? Yes, he will. The inside line for the next turn. It's a good move. There is contact on the exit as Lucas gets hit. Hits the back of the Alpine. Power Team does get past eventually, but he's now 3.5 seconds behind Ivan in the Ferrari. Kick gets by the Alpine as well. So the Williams drivers now in 6 and 7, but Leonard pulls into the pit lane, so it will be P5 and P6 once the RB driver comes out on a brand new set of hards. Will be behind everyone, and so is Fireblaze. Fireblaze down in P11. He's got some catching up to do to this train. Look at the train. Dominic getting close to the back of TVJ. A little bit too close to the back. Now to the inside, he switches. And he gets by, and he's now up into P9. Back inside the top 10 where he started. Up ahead, that is Mels going up the inside of Bregaiju. Gets past as the Alpine all out of shape on the exit with a lack of grip. And Mominik says thank you very much, and he gets past as well. As Fireblaze now back inside the top 10. Yellow flags behind. It is Ryan once again who's had a moment as Fireblaze is a bit stuck behind the Alpine. Now with the switchback and better traction, easily gets past. He's now up to P9 as Kevin in clean air has already built a gap of almost 4 seconds towards Geitenkaas. One second between himself and Ivan. And then it's Power Team in P4, but here comes Lucas. He's going to go around the outside. Contact between the two as they hook wheels there a little bit on the entry to turn 2, but Lucas is going to get past regardless, and he's up to P4. And Kick wants to get past the McLaren driver as soon as possible as well, to get back into the clean air and close the gap towards Ivan and Geitenkaas. He's going to send one up the inside into the hairpin of Tosa, but Power Team still has the outside. And Kick has to concede. He's gonna have to wait for the next opportunity, potentially down the start-finish straight, but at the moment Power Team still got DRS towards Lucas, so it's gonna be tricky to get past when both of them here are gonna have the DRS. Halfway through this race, and Kevin has once again built himself a 5-second lead. This time towards Geitenkaas. Power Team closing the gap once again towards Lucas. He's going to go around the outside in towards turn 2, and the McLaren driver is back up into P4. Bit of a moment there for Lucas, but he didn't fight that one too much. Meanwhile, Fireblaze, he's got past Mominik and he's now to P8 and can try and chase after Mels up ahead as once again it seems like Colin has gone off. Yes, he has. Coming out of turn 9. It's been a tough race so far, but I don't think he picked up front wing damage. Will be getting lapped though by the McLaren. They're all getting closer together behind Geitenkaas. It's a train of 5 drivers down to Kick in P6, all within DRS range, which is great news for Power Team, who was just under pressure from the 2 Williams drivers. Ivan not close enough behind though to go for the move. And Fireblaze gets past Mels on the next lap, and now he can try and close the gap towards Kick. And it's 3 seconds right now, but the 4 cars ahead of him all have got a time penalty. So Fireblaze is on for a podium finish here at Imola. And that's from P9 on the grid, or P8, due to Mel's grid penalty. Would be very impressive. Look at the amount of speed that Power Sim is able to carry through Agro Minerali. It's getting close to the back of Ivan, but you don't want to overtake into the chicane. Now maybe get a better exit and have it go down the inside into the Ravatsa sequence. He is getting close to the back, but will he attempt the move on the inside? No, he's going to stay behind for now and hope for a good run out of the final corner. As his teammate sets the fastest lap of the race, 1:16.6. Has built almost a 9-second lead now towards Geitenkaas. But Power Sim is getting closer and closer. He's going to have to go the long way around the outside of Ivan as we go towards turn 2. Later on the brakes, and he swoops up into B3. Great move there from Power Sim, and he makes it a double podium for McLaren. And that from P17 on the grid. Very impressive stuff. Now getting closer towards Geitenkaas as well, and he will want to get by on the next time they go down the start-finish straight. The gap's now 9.5 seconds between Kevin and Geitenkaas. Yellow flags are out once again for Ryan, who has gone off as he spins on the exit of turn 8. But is Power Sim going to have a go in the background? That is Lucas getting past Ivan down the start-finish straight. Power Sim is not quite close enough to make the move on Geitenkaas. But Ivan is dropping off on his hards. He's been on his hards for 10 laps. He's got the older stars of the field. And it shows right now he's struggling with tire wear already after 10 laps on these hards. Fireblaze closing the gap. The gap is now 1.6 towards Kick Ahead, who's going to go up the inside in towards turn 9. Not quite. It's a high speed corner. A big risk he was going to take there if he went for it. He thinks the better of it and opted to stay behind and then go for the move down the start-finish straight. Power Sim getting closer. It's now half a second, but Geitenkaas, he's going to get DRS there from Colin, who is a lap down, or is about to be a lap down to these guys. That is going to help Geitenkaas again in his defense against Power Sim. So we're on to lap 20 of 32, 13 laps to go. And this time Kick is going to go up the inside of Ivan, who doesn't put up much of a fight. And Kick is now up to P5. When it gets ahead of Mels once again. Ryan Van Vliet having a moment on the exit of turn 8. So Colin gets out of the way for everyone there. Geitenkaas holding steady in P2. But for how much longer? Because Power Sim is putting the pressure on. Lucas and Kick will be as well. The two Ferraris close behind. I'm sure Ivan is not going to make his teammates' life very difficult. So I reckon Fireblaze is going to get past quite easily. Potentially down the start-finish straight. Power Sim 0.4 of a second. Is it going to be enough for him to have a go at Geitenkaas? He's deploying the battery. He doesn't have much left. And it's not going to be enough for him to have a go. As Moinik gets past Mels. And Ivan pulls into the pit lane for his final stop. He's going to go onto the mediums. It's going to be a long way for him to the end, because he's only done 10 or 11 laps on the hards. And he's now going to do 11 more laps on the mediums. So he's going to have to do some tire saving. TVHNL and Rekaju fighting it out on the exit of turn 3. The Alpines on the outside, the Mercedes on the inside. And TVHNL unable to get the move done as Lucas picks up his third 3-second time penalty. So he's on 9 seconds right now. His teammate has got a 10-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. So what a disastrous turnaround there for Williams, who are looking at a pretty comfortable P2-3 finish earlier on. Then they got undercut by a few drivers ahead. And now both of them with a significant penalty. Might even not even finish inside the top 5. Kevin leads by 11.5 seconds to Geitegaas. Once again, absolutely dominating this race. And will be extending his championship lead. Has 3-second time penalty for kick. It's going to make Williams' day even worse. Ten laps to go in this race. Geitegaas is looking at back-to-back podium finishes, but he has got the older stars out of the top 8. Well, out of the entire field along with Mominik. As Mel pulls into the pit lane for his final stop. Oh, but Power Steam is so close to the back now of Geitegaas, but just doesn't have the straight line speed. But Geitegaas is starting to struggle with the rear end. Tire wear will start to kick in. Now it's 0.3 of a second towards Power C. Is he now finally going to be able to get past the Red Bull down the start-finish straight? He's been closer than he's ever been on this second stint. And now with the help of some ERS deployment and the slipstream and the DRS, he is going to try and put his McLaren alongside the Red Bull. In towards turn 1 we go wheel to wheel. Geitegaas on the outside, but Power C gets through. And now is up into second place. Geitegaas tries to go for the switch back, but he hits the inside curb and has to settle for P3 right now. And he's gonna have Lucas for company now. Whoa. Big tank slapper on the exit of Haco Minerali. Happy Meal gets past Mominik on the braking zone of Haco Minerali. That's an unorthodox place to see a move happening, but the Mercedes driver gets ahead of the Kick Sauber, who's been on these cars for 14 laps. Look at the tire degradation on the front right, especially there. Starting to feel the effects of the tire wear. His next closest car behind is Ivan in the Ferrari, who went for the 2-stop 3 laps ago. The Fireblaze getting close to the back of Kick. Purmerend. Precies. Yellow flags are out, and it's for Octavia. Not for the first time in this race. Hopefully for him it will be the last time. He's down on P14, he's got 41 seconds towards Ryan, who has had an arguably even worse time in this race. And Colin as well in the Haas. Far from the points. As Geit de Kaas, he is falling behind Power Siemens. The gap is over 1 second now. Which means he's going to be vulnerable towards Lucas. So the gap is around 0.5 of a second, and Geit de Kaas is desperately trying to get back within that DRS range. Not sure if he managed to do it, because the detection point is halfway down the braking zone towards Rivazza, and he hasn't managed it. So Lucas with the overspeed is getting close to the back of the Red Bull Bulls to the inside as we go in towards turn 2, and Geit de Kaas is going to lose another position as Lucas gets past. And now is up into a podium position, though with a 9-second time penalty. With 7 laps to go in this race. The battle is not over yet for the final 2 spots on the podium. As long as Geit de Kaas stays within 3 seconds of Power Siemens, will still be in 2nd place. And Fireblaze will be still looking at a P3 finish. As Colin once again finds the gravel trap on the exit of turn 3. 15.5 seconds separates the 2 McLarens in this race. If Power Sim finishes in P2, it will be incredibly impressive, as Ryan is almost getting stuck there in Aqua Minerale. He's found the barrier once more. It's unfortunately a common sight in this race. It's both Nels and Monique pick up the 3-second time penalty. And Colin as well as Kick is going to get past Geit de Kaas. And he's now up to P4. And Geit de Kaas getting pushed there through the corner by Fireblaze. But now the second Williams has found the way past Lucas. As Colin has gone off again in the same place where Ryan just went off. And Colin is about to get lapped for a 2nd time by Kevin, who is fast approaching the Variante Alta. Lucas is matching the pace of Power Sim once again. Ryan is off track. Colin picks up a 10-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. And well, it's no surprise to see him as our 2nd retirement in this race. A disastrous day for him in the office. Which leaves just 15 drivers remaining for the final 6 laps. Well, 5 for some. Fireblaze is closing the gap towards Geit de Kaas. These drivers don't have the time penalty, but Fireblaze is going to get past. But has he done that under yellow flags? Because the safety car has been deployed, I think, in this race. Not sure why and who has caused it, but wow, that is going to throw around everything in this race. Well, not really for Kevin, who he built a 20-second lead, because the drivers behind him don't have time penalties, but it does throw around the fight for the podium positions, and it's a very bad news for Williams. Although Kik can serve his time penalty, and he will be serving his time penalty if he pulls into the pit lane. But a safety car deployment on lap 28 of 32. And of course Kevin is going to pull into the pit lane. He got a 17-second lead to his teammate, of all people. And he is going to pull to the pit lane as well, so is Lucas behind. And Kik as Fireblaze continues on his hearts. Will he be ahead of Kevin? Yes, he will be. Fireblaze now into the lead of this race, as he is choosing track position over tire advantage. And so is his teammate, who is now in a P3 position. So Ivan can potentially help out his teammate massively here by holding up the cars behind for these final, what will be 2 laps. This is about to get very interesting for the final 2 spots on the podium. I'm sure Kevin is going to get past Fireblaze immediately at the restart. But the fight is there for P2 and P3. Kick, because of his penalty that he has to serve under the pit stops, now comes out all the way down in P10. Geitekas knows he has to keep it within the white lines and keep it within 3 seconds of the 3 drivers ahead of him, and he will be safe for a podium position. Safety car stays out for 1 more lap, and then we will resume to green flag racing for the final 2 laps of this race. Almost a guarantee that Kevin is going to win this, but who are going to join him on the podium? Ryan has retired from this session, 3 retirements, and Octavia is the last man standing here in P14, but he won't be able to close the gap towards the rest of the field. TVHNL and Rickadeau might be able to, because the safety car is going to have to go in at the end of this lap, because we need to have at least 2 laps of racing. And Fireblaze will lead the field on the restart on 17 lap old hards. There it is, safety car in this lap. Fireblaze leads, but Kevin has the tire advantage of 16 laps and he's on brand new softs. Ivan in P3 on 9 lap old mediums, everyone else behind him on a set of brand new softs. Fireblaze is gonna wait and wait as he comes out of the final corner, and here he goes for the restart. Fireblaze leads away the field, going on to lap 31 of 32, the penultimate lap of this race. Kevin immediately deploys all the battery to go into the slipstream of his teammate, whilst Peter McLaren is trying to get past Power Steam. Fireblaze defends the inside line going into turn 1, and there's contact between himself and Kevin Sonnenberg, going to make contact and front wing damage for the McLaren driver as he tries to find his way past Fireblaze, who drops down the order immediately. Power Steam is going up into second place, Ivan in P3, Fireblaze all the way down to P4. But there was contact between himself and Kevin. Big moment there on the exit of turn 5. And Lucas gets past on the inside, and Geitekas as well. Of course, the older stars of the field, he is going to be struggling. And Leonard now up to P6 in the other RB. Fireblaze all the way down to P7. A disastrous restart to this race, and he'll be tumbling down the order immediately. But Kevin leads the way, but he's got front wing damage. He's missing an end plate. And Power Steam is looking to try and find a way past, although he has got a 3-second time penalty. And so he won't be able to build that gap after the restart, as Lucas is going to get past Ivan immediately as well into the braking zone of Rivazza. As we go on to the final lap of this race, DRS will be enabled, but not on this straight yet. And the gap is 4/10 between the two McLarens. Geitegaas gets past Ivan as Fireblaze retires from this race. A crucial moment in the championship. Kick gets past Leonard, bit of contact on the exit of turn 2. Who's now down to P7. But of course, Kicks with a 3-second time penalty. So has Leonard. Is Geitegaas going to be able to get that P2 position as Kick sends one of the inside of Ivan. And now in P5 on the final lap of this race. Kevin then, despite... I swear he got front wing damage, but at the moment he doesn't seem to be missing an end plate. So maybe I caught that one wrong then, but Kevin is going to lead the way. The gap's now 1.6 seconds going on to the final sector of the final lap of this race. As the fight is there for P6, 7 and 8. But Kevin, he has absolutely dominated this race from pole position. The safety car restart was almost threatening his win, but he is going to cross the line for his 4th consecutive win in SDN this season. Kevin wins the Imola Grand Prix ahead of Geitegaas by 4 seconds. Kick in the end finishes on the podium ahead of Ivan in P4, Mel's Gaming in P5, Leonard in P6, and Prowasim in 7th place from last on the grid. That safety car really didn't help him out too much. Rekaju in P8, ahead of Lucas all the way down to P9, TVHNL in P10, Happy Meal in 11th place, Mominik in P12. And we wait for Octavia to cross the line. If he wants to, apparently not. He's going to do some donuts, which is something I absolutely do not have time for, but Octavia in P13, but well done to Kevin on yet another win in SDN Tier 1, season number 6. Geitegaas and Kick round off the podium. P6, 7. Yep, those belong to Leonard and Ivan, I believe. But another interesting race here at Imola. Leonard and Prowasim that was, but Geitegaas from 10th on the grid finishes in P2. Kevin with pole position and the fastest lap and the race win. A hat trick for the McLaren driver. But that is the end then of round 5 of the season. Next week we shall return for round 6 at the Mexican Grand Prix. But thank you all for tuning into the stream. Hope you all enjoyed and have a pleasant evening. And I'll see you guys next time with Jamie probably alongside me again for round 6. But that's it for me tonight though. I'll see you guys next time and goodbye.